The planet Earth.
Some call me nature.
I am very passionate about the planet
Earth.
A living, breathing planet capable of sustaining whatever life forms we see fit to deposit on it.
Spock, judging by the pollution content of the atmosphere, I believe we have arrived.
It's the planet stupid. No, it's the planet stupid.
Our guide for It's the Planet Stupid is eco-journalist Belinda Weymouth. Hello, Belinda. Thank you.
Hi. How are you?
We are, well, always better for visiting with you. There is, in all of the stuff that's being dismantled in government right now, I think lawlessly, and I think in this reckless way, sadly, so much of it has to do with the planet and with those agencies that are watching critical, fragile aspects of our involvement with the planet.
Yes, I'm just going to carry on right from where, you left off with your last, guest. We're in this crazy authoritarian moment, and it's dangerous. It's really dangerous what's happening. And what's happening, I want to talk about NOAA, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration. But I did also want to mention this is just sort of silly, the executive order that was signed on Monday by Trump to ban paper straws in federal agencies. Paper straws bad, bring back plastic. Enjoy some, plastic particles with your soda, and yes, they will get to your brain. Sorry about that. But Trump has been a part in this, but has been a straw man since his re-election bid against Biden. During those rallies, he was selling for $15 10 reusable thick red plastic straws that had his name on them. Can you believe? Of course, he loves to put his name on everything. It was a way to make money, and it was a way to also rile up, his base and anger at single-use bans of plastic items, bags, straws, all kinds of things that are happening nationwide, because everyone knows that the scourge of plastic is so terrible. And here's the thing about plastic straws. I'm going to do a little demonstration, because for most of us, I know some people do need straws, but we are anatomically, look, I can drink my cup of tea.
Oh.
Without a straw. It's like, do we use straws for our coffee, for our wine? No, we don't. We've been sold this line of absolute BS that we have to have them in our glasses of water and our sodas, and we just don't. And I absolutely, there are some people who need a straw. They can't drink without them, and they should absolutely have access to them. But the rest of us, bringing back the plastic straw, it's sort of petty and ridiculous. And I think it's a direct result of Biden phasing out. There were going to be no more plastic straws in federal agencies. It was all paper.
It's messaging. It's plastic straws. It's flush the toilet as much as you want. It's take the shower you want. It's like, can you believe you got to flush the toilet like 4 times now? That's all going to change under a Trump administration. This is the stuff that is, in some ways, it doesn't matter. And it actually does carry the day from the standpoint of messaging. It's that, all that woke stuff about how you don't want straws anymore, and we're not going to have them, and the federal government, that's all going away. I'll bring straws back. It means nothing for the most part. And of course, you're right. By the way, just because we're talking about straws, I just have a question for you. I'd always heard that women, or men maybe now, who wear lipstick, they like straws because they don't get the whatever it is on their lips. That was a breakthrough when I learned that some years ago. I get it. Okay. There is that.
I think women would give up the plastic straw to not have pieces of plastic in their placentas and in their breast milk. For the, just so they don't get their lipstick on the rim of their wine glass.
It does feel like an odd trade-off. You're absolutely right.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
But in any case, the paper straw ban is...
it's an executive order signed on Monday, if you can believe. The thing is, I'm trying to be a curious observer, sort of sit back and just watch this second Trump presidency. in action, but it's moving so fast. And the other thing that happened this week, and this I think is very, very important, and this absolutely ties into Project 2025. And even though Trump isn't sort of coming out and saying he endorses everything in it, he is nominating those authors of that, manifesto, because it is a manifesto, to cabinet positions. And what happened this week? So NOAA, which Project 2025 calls a primary component of the climate change alarm industry.
Which is not at all. I mean, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, I know a lot about it because I dealt, in weather forecasting with it for many, many years. Go ahead.
Yeah, and they're extremely important. I mean, they were warning LA 2 days beforehand that, those fire conditions were coming. They were warning them. But this week, NOAA scientists got told they had to stop communication with foreign nationals, aka the global network of scientists who share all their monitoring, the radar, the satellite information that they get, the models that they're using to see what's happening, in the ocean, in the atmosphere, and then alert us when there are these terrible storms. But now NOAA, no, you can't be talking to those people. I mean, NOAA scientists wrote back and said, not even emails and it's Elon Musk who, and his henchmen who've been going through these national agencies who are now, I've got to ask, this is the thing I think about, when Trump and Elon Musk are together, they just don't talk about Tesla. They just don't talk about, the fact that, he made his money from, electric vehicles. That just we pretend that didn't happen. So
he made his money from U.S. subsidies on EVs,
on his EVs,
and that's
yes.
really and the sale of batteries, etc. He got a lot of credits. Essentially, that's what he energy credits is really how he made Tesla profitable.
Right. So now he and his henchmen are going into NOAA. What they're trying to do is scrub the websites of any mention of climate change, methane, greenhouse gases, environmental hazards, all those things. And then one of the things that Project 2025 really want is no more money spent on climate change research in NOAA. And this is really nuts because NOAA is, the work that they do is so valuable. And one of the things that they were an initiative of the leader who just stepped down. What's his name? I've got it
I don't
here
know his
somewhere.
name. Sorry, I can't help
In
you.
January, he said he was stepping aside, Rick Spinrad. And, he calls NOAA the National Environmental Intelligence Agency. I mean, they're so important. And they had an initiative of, for how to make the United States climate ready to help us be resilient. So to want to dismantle the 12,000 federal employees who work there to stop this research. I mean, what Project 2025 is talking about doing is eliminating it. This will horrify you as an ex-weather guy, Mark. Get rid of the National Weather Service, and instead we'll have these this privatized.
That's what everything's about
privatized. Like the
Yeah.
app that we all had on our phones. During the fires, the watch duty, where we could see the winds, we could see where the air was bad. But you need a federal agency that, by the way, runs on the smell of an oily rag. I mean, it costs a US citizen 6 cents a day to have NOAA. And I think for the information that they are providing and how important that is, but
I do think also this is interesting what Michael Reich says. Do I trust the CDC website when I research bird flu? This kind of censorship is just incredibly stupid. In other words, the privatization to which you've referred, which will fill that void, that's the idea. Can you trust it? Can you have confidence in it? I mean, the kind of vast network of cooperation that you need is beyond private industry for the most part.
Yeah. You need a federal agency that's unbiased and is working really closely with their counterparts all over the globe because, as we, I never stop on this stuff. The storms are going to get worse. The danger is going to get worse. So to dismantle our, National Environmental Intelligence Agency, as its outgoing leader calls it, is just, it's it's insane. And then I was also thinking, does Trump bear a grudge against NOAA because of Sharpiegate? I mean, is it just a little bit of a thorn in his side? Sharpiegate, he'll never live it down, and what he made the leaders of NOAA do.
That actually is interesting. I was reading something the other day. I'm trying to remember what it was. Something about the guy the Trump people identified who was involved in pushback on Sharpiegate, and they went after them this time around.
Yeah. And the thing about Sharpiegate is he made an absolute mistake when he said that, Hurricane Dorian was heading for Alabama. It wasn't. And rather than just walk it back, he couldn't, handle looking like a fool. And so he doubled down. His administration, strong-armed NOAA, the leadership of NOAA, and they released a letter. They didn't sign it, but after several days, they released this letter. They put the, Sharpie pointing towards Alabama, and they said that Hurricane Dorian could possibly hit Alabama. And NOAA shouldn't do that. And you also shouldn't be strong-arming a federal agency that's supposed to be, nonpartisan into saying something when a president makes a mistake. The president should say, "Oh, I misspoke," and silly me. Everyone makes an,
Sure, you could do it. You could have done it a billion ways. You could have said, an earlier report I saw actually did mention that. I looked at something and someone mentioned it to me. I'm going to talk to that person later because that was a mistake. But however you want to put it, you can farm it out, Yeah. He's, and you talk about strong arming. That's what's happening. That's the coin of the realm of this administration. They are strong arming all scientists and all officials associated with these agencies.
Yeah. And that's what, an authoritarian dictator does. You strong arm and you get them, to get on board with your message, even if your message is horribly wrong. And the thing that happened with Sharpiegate is, all these people in Alabama were calling the National Weather Service. Is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? And so they went out on Twitter and said, "Oh, no, absolutely not," not realizing that Trump had said it nationally. And, then it became this, fracas, and they had to walk it back. But I think...
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I'm sorry, our time is so short, but I wanted to get to something that I know wanted to get to, and that is migration. And the fact that migration is being supercharged by a lot of these policies to which we referred. You wouldn't think necessarily there's connective tissue, but there is.
Yes. Well, the thing that's so interesting is, obviously one of the, big scandals that we've been, looking at these past couple of weeks is USAID and how 97% of that workforce is going away. Well, a couple of months ago, the Biden administration put in place an initiative that was to share satellite data with Central American countries that are really in the path of these dangerous hurricanes to help them. And the goal of the initiative is twofold. One is that you want to reduce suffering, you want to save lives, you want to help these people. The second goal of it was that if you help people by giving them warning and using part of the USAID budget. And by the way, it was only $6.6 million a year. It was a tiny amount of money, but it was to help right down to the granular level, to help families in Guatemala be more resistant on their farms, wherever they were, to these terrible storms coming in. Well, with the, sort of the Xing out of USAID, that initiative goes away. And there was a research paper that came out last year that showed that when there was extremely dry growing seasons, and this was in Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador, the push factor in migration, it bumped up migration, which obviously comes here, it goes northward, it comes to the States, by 71%. Wow. And after we get a Category 4 hurricane hit Central American countries, that also is a huge push factor for migration to here. And so by getting rid of USAID and this initiative, Trump is actually going to be, encouraging a thing that he really ran against. We're going to stop migrants. But one of the ways you stop migrants is you stop the push factors that happen in their countries. There's the pull factor of why you want to come to America, but there's the push why you want to leave your country. And we need to be helping these countries minimize those push factors. And when you think that initiative was going to cost $6.6 million annually, that is pennies in comparison to what we spend on border control.
It's such a minuscule amount of money. You're right. This is coming in from Karen Cooper for you, Belinda. News yesterday in Hawaii, there's a vacuum machine used in Hawaii to remove microplastic from sand. Almost 100% effective, says Karen Cooper.
Wow.
That's kind of interesting.
Have to look that up. Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll put that into the mix. You've talked a lot about the inundation of plastic, and so that is kind of I mean, it's interesting that this 5-alarm fire associated with government and the dissolving of so many of these critical institutions, scientific, et cetera, it still coexists with innovation and the idea somehow that we know we're polluting the planet and we know that we are drowning in our own waste, plastic, et cetera, and there is innovation to try to put a dent in that. I don't know. Fascinating.
No, this is the thing. And it's sort of, it's the awful, we're in that push-pull situation again, and we're going to be here for the next, 4 years at least, where we have these innovations and all these things that want to go, that are going to be going forward in spite of, what Trump and Project 2025 want to achieve. But we're just slowing down the progress that we so need to be making. I mean, especially with, greenhouse gas mitigation. I mean, this is crazy to stop NOAA doing research into, climate change and weather and where we're headed.
Well, it's really worse than that. I'm going to talk tomorrow. I just didn't want to bog your segment down, but I'm going to talk tomorrow about what's happening at EPA and they're rolling back. And by the way, the key is not just what they're doing, but the guy behind it is a oil and energy billionaire who supports Trump. They are the basic carbon monoxide laws that regulate the amount of tailpipe emissions you can have. They're being rolled back now at the EPA at the behest of this guy who is a Trump appointee. So, it's these are, and it's important to keep stock of these things because, as you say, best case scenario, Democrats get back in charge or some opposition party gets back in charge, and maybe some clear-headed policies can be instituted, but it will be rolling back a lot of the new policies that are coming into effect that will, without question, amplify pollution and amplify the problems that we have as a result.
Yeah. It's sort of like we're on a spinning top, and we spend half the time, spinning in the right direction, and the other half we're spinning in the wrong direction. And if this is going to be this, every 4 years, it's so crunch time and so imperative that we do the right thing. And it's just hard when you've got so many people heading in the right direction, but you've got a lot of people digging in their heels and not wanting to change the direction.
So true. Here's the word out of Honolulu, just to cap it out. A beach cleaning machine moved from Hawaii Island to the shores of Oahu this week to take on a new beach cleaning project. It's called the Hula One, Belinda. It translates to bring back to life and restore sands. It removes microplastics from the sand. Over the last 20 years, volunteers have recovered more than 700,000 pounds of microplastics in nets and lines along the coastline near Kamilo Point in Kau on Hawaii Island. These maybe Kim probably knows these places. Hula One has proved almost 100% effective in removing microplastics and has made a significant impact on beach cleaning efforts. This is a good story, Belinda. I'm so glad that we could find it.
It is, and you found it for me. Thank you so much.
That's extraordinary. This is really a role reversal.
Thank you, Karen. This is very cool.
I'm supposed to have the bad news, and Belinda's supposed to bring the good news. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Belinda.
We switched positions. Now, the only thing now is this able to get up the microplastics, but not also take important parts of the ecosystem with it? there must be some kind of filter in there,
It
because
looks
that's
like a straight vacuum. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, as you
yeah,
say, I mean, you
yeah.
know, it looks like that's all plastic and sand. Here it is being demoed. We're showing it to you now if you're watching on
Yeah,
YouTube. We
yeah.
do see them returning the sand minus the plastic.
That's so great. Yeah, and then you see just plastic. Oh, of course, yeah, because of the density. So you can get the plastic which floats on top, and then hopefully there aren't any, precious microbes from the sand going
Right.
up.
I mean,
And
it's
it's amazing. It's
yeah.
amazing. But I mean, we really, I love it. I love it. Thank you.
So we
Thank you.
need what, 400,000 more of those machines.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the beach here, but after the fire, after the Pacific Palisades fire and the rain, the amount of trash that's on our beach is pretty crazy. So yes,
and it was
need
not
one
exactly
here,
a
please.
pristine beach to begin with. Yeah.
No.
Belinda, I adore our time. We've had stuff to worry about, stuff to be downcast about, and then stuff to be encouraged by. So we've been around the horn. You can find Belinda on Blue Sky. Yeah, Blue Sky her. Belinda Weymouth is Waymouth, and we love our visits with you on Wednesday. That is It's the Planet Stupid for today. Bye, Belinda.
Bye, everyone.
More
It's the planet stupid. No, it's the planet stupid.
next time, only on The Mark Thompson Show.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.